The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, the workers at Grand Lucaya Resort in Grand Bahama to be paid tomorrow. We talk about that. Noted attorney and F&M Yamakra candidate Ellsworth Johnson speaks out on behalf of embattled F&M Mount Moriah candidate Marvin Dames. We hear some of what he has to say today. The Department of Immigration tightening its detection measures to detect fraud in the department. We'll talk about that as well. And then later tonight, Father Bradley Miller speaks out against the national norm of the Bahamas, sweethearting, after that UB study. It's all straight ahead for you this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, the workers of the Grand Lucaya Resort celebrating this evening. In fact, I received several calls earlier today and this afternoon. Those workers are scheduled to be paid beginning tomorrow morning at 9. That's right. The hours that were shared with me and told to me will be between 9 and noon. That's 12 o'clock for line staff. And then management will be paid sometime between 12 and 1 at the resort. And so we get into it right there this evening. Just some good news for Grand Bahama. Of course, we wish this also included perhaps new information and an update for the Grand Lucaya itself, but certainly to see those workers very happy, it really is a good thing for them. And so I'm going to ask my panelists their thoughts on this after seeing these people lobby for months and for months and for months. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Leslie Miller and Gabrielle McKinney Inius. Good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas, and those watching from all around the world. It's so good to be here.
Good evening, my dear. Good evening, Bahamas. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Gabrielle, thank you for doing that because we do have our audience really is all over. And I am grateful whenever you all watch, when you reach out throughout the United States and even across the pond, you all do. So thank you so much for watching. Your thoughts, though, about this good news. My God, this Grand Lucaya, anything surrounding the Grand Lucaya related to it deserves to be some sort of good news. Well, the workers this time are very happy because they're being paid, as we are told here on Beyond the Headlines, tomorrow morning.
I am elated for those persons. They need their money. Honest days work for an honest day's pay. It's unfortunate that it took so long. I will celebrate with them even more when the money is in the bank. I am just grateful that it is going to be processed, and I hope and pray that all goes well with them. Y'all, please, please, please. All of us come together and let's pray these people get their monies. That's all I want to say on that.
I mean, I'm not surprised that they're being paid. I didn't realize that they haven't paid them, for maybe a month or two?
No, I think more than 2 months, if not even
Yeah, but I'm sure Mr. Davis is going to sort that out tomorrow and get everybody paid up to date, eh? I just want to see the real contract that the money comes into this country and that project gets started. That's my concern, really. I mean, I think, you work, you got to get paid. So pay the people tomorrow. This is government paid every week anyhow.
Yes,
so,
so
better late than never.
Absolutely.
Who's paying
And let's
that
hope it
bill?
don't happen again.
The
government is paying that.
I think the
That's why I don't say it's a big deal.
The government is paying
I don't say
them,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, and that is the kind of the vexing thing, because it's like this resort was supposedly sold, and they should pick it up, but that was part of the pushback, that they should not be responsible for paying those employees. And obviously they stuck to their guns because the government is now paying the people.
Just one of those unfortunate things, and let's hope it don't happen again.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, you all, this has been in the news now for a few days. Ellsworth Johnson this time joining in. He is the Free National Movement's candidate in Yamakra and a noted attorney. Well, he's joining in on the discussion as it relates to Marvin Dames. You all know what's been happening with Dames all week long, really, and that he has been the headline. Well, Johnson, in a voice note today, took time to speak out on Dames' behalf, the first person from the Free National Movement to do so. Let's listen in on some of what he had to say, and then we'll come talk about it.
I make this recording to record my confidence in Mr. Marvin Dames and his wife, and to state unequivocally, in my opinion, after having known Mr. Dames for more than 30 years and worked with him, that he is a man of an unquestionable integrity and high moral standing. And I think that covers everything in terms of a reference by myself for Mr. Dames. Recently, there has been an arrest in the United States by a Bahamian who I'm advised has admitted culpability or guilt for what has happened. Now, I cannot admit and or deny that Mr. Dames owned that vessel, but I know that it's not uncommon in law for the owner of a vessel, the owner of an airplane, the owner of a home in particular, because we see that all the time, to have something go on and they have absolutely no knowledge of the incident, for example.
And so there you have it, really Ellsworth Johnson, someone who is highly regarded by many, many people, a noted attorney, as I said before, speaking out, really the first person, the first official voice of the Free National Movement to say, you know what, listen, you all, let's just sort of give Marvin Dames the benefit of the doubt right now because his character is something he can vouch for. You all, your thoughts on the fact that Ellsworth Johnson, who himself is a candidate, will sort of put himself on the line this way and stepping into something that is still evolving?
Well, Shanique and Leslie, I think that Ellsworth has always been a team player. When you look across the history of Ellsworth's involvement in the Free National Movement, I think he's one of those that exemplifies teamwork if there is one. Mm-hmm. The reason why I say that is because the FNM isn't known for coming to the rescue of their people. Let's be honest. Let's lay the cards out on the table. On the contrast, when you see the PLP guilty, not guilty, whatever it is, they stick by their people. They're out to court. When it is their people are going to court, whatever the verdict is, and they clean it up on the end. The FNM doesn't have the reputation of sticking beside their people. So Ellsworth Johnson is an anomaly in this whole situation with him coming forward. Marvin Dames has had a reputation and enjoyed a reputation of high integrity. While he was on the force, as he traversed through his first leg of candidacy, he had a high reputation of integrity. So this situation is a blow. It's definitely a blow. It's a slippery slope as details continue to be revealed to us. We don't really know what to say. He now has the insurmountable task of trying to figure out, should he go on or should he pull back now his nomination, even though he is innocent until proven guilty, or he may be completely and totally innocent of all of this. He now has to put what is at stake. What is at stake? Because we've seen a similar situation happen with somebody who resigned for something that their business partner would have done. They were completely innocent, completely dissolved of charges, but just to protect the brand of the organization they were a part of, they resigned. That person was innocent though. So this is going to be a difficult choice for him.
Gabrielle and Leslie, you feel as though it may have to come down to that for the sake, the integrity, the image of the Free National Movement, especially in an election season, an election being so close that Dames may have to kind of make that decision?
Because now it's taking away, right? So your opponents are going to use this as a sort of kryptonite to continue to beat this thing into, because the Free National Movement has always been that party to preach accountability, transparency, good governance, all these different things. So when you have something like this coming up, your opponents, being the Progressive Liberal Party, is going to say, okay, the chiefs of all the good behavior and all these good things finally have something where we could kind of use it, whether it's just for a public relations standpoint, to really get at you. So it's going to be up to the leadership and Marvin Dames to decide, listen, I don't want to derail the Free National Movement's campaign. I don't want to take away from what's going on. We've done some great work here, but I don't want to be the distraction. That's going to be the decision leadership and Marvin Dames will have to make in this.
I'm surprised, Leslie, to hear Gabrielle say the Free National Movement is not known to try and sort of, gather around and hold hands around its own when and if that individual finds themselves faced with an issue, as this one is.
It's very, very unfortunate that this situation has come to the forefront at this critical juncture in our political climate when the elections is right around the corner. I have the greatest respect for Mr. Johnson, very affable young man and a decent human being, son of O.J. His father was a very fast competitor in the political arena. It's unfortunate that a man of Mr. Dames' caliber has been caught up in the situation, but in politics, perception is reality. And it's very unfortunate that I think he has no choice but to resign from the position of trying to be a candidate again, because it's going to be a burden on the back of the entire party. It's very interesting that the leader and the chairman of the party has said nothing at all to defend their comrade. And I look forward to Mr. Ingram being the titular head of the FNM, or, the former leader who's really the man in charge, as he should be.
What do you mean he's the man in charge?
When I say in charge, I'm talking about he is really the impetus of the FNM at this time. He's been the Prime Minister 3 times. He has all the experience. He carries the load for the FNM, as he's done over the years, and I'm sure he would step to the fore, and he would assist him in making that decision that it is in the best interest.
So you don't think, Leslie, that leadership is meeting right now to sort of, before they preempt a statement, sort of meet with Marvin, talk with him, and see where they're at to maybe assess it before they just go out and jump in front of the media?
I'm of the opinion of already met with him. I think it's a situation where Mr. Dames could maybe easily say, well, the leader, you had your own problems yourself. So don't tell me what to do. If I'm innocent, I could put some stuff on you,
What? Hold on, Leslie. Hold on.
No, if you pressure a fella and he got the ball in his pocket and he doesn't want to leave, then he'd bring out stuff on the man that would happen before when he had to leave the Senate. Don't forget now. Don't forget
That's yesterday's news.
It's yesterday, but it's the same thing as politics. That's why I say in politics, perception is reality. What people perceive happen is what they believe in their minds. And it's a burden on the Free National Movement. They have the decision to make.
It's a distraction.
Mr. Dames, who I have the greatest respect for, have a decision to make. And he have to make that decision very shortly.
And they don't have a lot of time.
Dr. Minnis came out yesterday and say it would just have been a 24-hour situation with him, and it would have been done.
Hold on, what Doc said?
He said that if it was him, by tomorrow it wouldn't have been in the newspaper anymore, because he would have been gone.
They would have cut ties immediately.
But you can say anything when you...
I'm glad you said.
Gabrielle, you have spoken.
I say
Gabrielle,
most can say anything.
No, Leslie, you are not Leslie Miller. Number one, you are not Leslie Miller. Leslie, don't get involved with Gabrielle. Gabrielle is not Leslie Miller, and Gabrielle, you have said enough last night. That's all I have to say. Well, I tell you.
He took his time in making some decisions too.
You all leave Dr. Minnis alone.
Challenging the leadership to do the right thing,
Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash. And you know how Superwash always have the latest and greatest model of washer and dryer? Well, they thought it's about time they get the latest supermodel as well.
Hey, wait a minute, Mr. Charlie Banana.
Just because Superwash always changing and upgrading their machines
I mean, they got to change those spokesman. They got the newest washer and dryer, and they always upgrading all their locations. And these two models, they ain't got to change. Superwash, they washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
Introducing the Easy Renew portal, brought to you by the National Insurance Board. Renewing your national insurance card has never been easier.
I can renew our cards right from the comfort of our home.
And it's so convenient.
Wow.
Whether you're at work or studying hard at the library, even when you're on the go or enjoying retirement.
This is so easy.
Day or night, the Easy Renew portal is there for you. Easy Renew portal, convenience at your fingertips.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
.5 is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D, all backed up by The Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, $30. VIP, $75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Let's jump right into the Department of Immigration looking to strengthen its operations in the face of an increasing number of fraudulent documents being discovered. Jose Etienne spoke with the director of the department today.
Passport fraud continues to raise serious concerns about the integrity of the Bahamian passport and the system designed to protect it. With the issue now under a microscope, Immigration Director Stephen LaRota says steps have already been taken to strengthen oversight.
We have an officer assigned to the passport officers who is able to screen those documents, anything that's a little suspicious or of concern that's issued by the Department of Immigration that's being used over there. They'll be able to verify and confirm that it is issued by us or not issued, citizenship in particular.
The move comes after a Haitian man was sentenced for passport fraud, a case that investigators say involved fraudulent documents being used to obtain a Bahamian passport.
We became aware of intelligence about fraudulent documents and forged documents that are out there in the wider community that are being circulated. And in some cases, we are aware that documents purported to be from the Department of Immigration is finding its way in the hands of some unscrupulous people. They're using those documents and to go to the passport office, in some cases, and acquire Bahamian passports.
What remains unclear is how those documents are being produced and whether any insiders are assisting in the scheme.
I've seen some stuff that we have already done, and it's out there in social media. We've had dismissals that have not made social media, and we have a number of ongoing investigations regarding to allegations made against some of our people. Not a lot, a handful, and we're actively investigating those matters.
And those matters have to do with passport fraud?
Those matters have to do with fraud in general, so it may include passports.
LaRota, who has been at the helm for 7 months, says he's taking a zero-tolerance approach to any form of corruption within the department.
Where I find that there's malfeasance taking place, we do our proper investigations and we do what we have to do, whether it's taken before the courts or dismissal. The law is not oblivious, and we are not accepting anybody in this organization doing anything that's untoward.
As the investigations continue, the broader issue here remains safeguarding the credibility of a document that represents national identity and security. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
So you all, you see, and it's something that's very important, really, that the department is doing, because we often wondered, one, we know it's various levels of where fraud can take place, where people can present fraudulent documents and kind of just get through the system. Recently at the Parliamentary Registrar Department, they spotted a fake passport, a fraudulent passport. That no doubt happened, that act of fraud perhaps happened very early on, as many people go and try to just get through the system. But what do y'all make of immigration finally speaking up? We've heard the Passport Office several times speak about what it is doing and continues to do to strengthen and to put those, plug those gaping holes as it relates to possible fraud. But first time that immigration is speaking out about what it is doing.
I think the Department of Immigration definitely should be doing that, continuing to strengthen the safe measures to make sure that everyone and anyone isn't obtaining these documents, especially illegally. They shouldn't be obtaining them illegally at all. And then everyone shouldn't just, that walks through the door, should be, whoa, you're approved, because they use these documents that they get and then they take them over to our passport office.
Exactly.
And there are protocols and guidelines. So a lot of the onus we're putting on the passport office, and they're accepting documents that were obtained fraudulently from other departments. So maybe it is we need to go back and look at the registrar with these birth certificates of persons. Because you remember now, Leslie would be able to probably even speak better to this. These births that took place on family islands, where people were born pre-1973, and these handwritten documents now. So when these illegal aliens come into the country now, all of a sudden an identity is made up. They was born on some island somewhere doing something, and all of a sudden now, so they take this handwritten document, one immunization card they write up. Remember back in the day, you used to write on the NIB cards. You used to have the little yellow card, you used to write in the NIB number. So all of a sudden, this person that never existed suddenly exists. They now have all the prerequisites to take to the passport office. And then they obtain this passport, and we are up in arms saying, how did this happen? Immigration needs to be looked into deeply, whether it's people being paid off to put these things through. So that means, yeah, you didn't get your little tip. So they got all the documents legally on the surface, but illegally through bribes. You're selling your country away. That's where we need to take $1 million and put into a probe into the Department of Immigration, into our registrar offices, to see in the last 50 years, our entire existence as an independent country, how many persons were granted Bahamian citizenships using these documents. Boy, plenty Bahamians, we may not have 400,000 people anymore.
You know, it is very interesting that, especially in the family islands, as you alluded to, do you realize that our top officer in the family island, what do we call him, the
island administrator?
Island administrator, years ago could have given you citizenship?
What?
Yes. They could have stamped your damn passport and give you citizenship. Think of what's going on. I think one of the biggest problems we have in this country is these so-called JPs. We need to censor. Remember Foxhill? For about 10 years. They are the biggest problems
Yes, they are.
with providing people with false IDs for $500. That's what we need to look at.
Yeah.
The government, you just can't routinely make someone a JP.
Yeah.
It is wrong. And in the Family Islands, it is dangerous. Because so many people come through the Family Islands. All of our major Family Islands, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, Abaco, Andros, and get citizenship. I don't think we realize the impact. I saw it just last week. 2 Haitian guys were found guilty for having false passport. They get 3 years. What the hell is 3 years taking my citizenship?
Not 3 years.
How to give a man 3 years and not to be deported afterwards? The two in Grand Bahama a few weeks ago who were selling passports and documents to their buddies in Florida to come to the Bahamas. If we grant you a citizenship as a legal immigrant when you came here, if you do something like that, your status should be revoked.
Yes.
You should go back to where you came from.
Yes.
Haitian or not. But we are too lax with the laws. That's our problem. I tell you, in the next 30 years, we ain't have no country called the Bahamas, you know. Watch. They can take it from us.
No man, Leslie, man.
I'm telling you, the laws are too lax.
We haven't had anyone that's really serious though about immigration. When last time we had an immigration minister that is ready to shut things down, that is really ready to go the extra mile to get in there. Lobsters Roga.
Yeah, that's
Leslie,
God bless you.
Lobsters
God bless you,
Roga.
Mr. Roga.
Leslie, what you say it ain't happen? What do you mean
It ain't happen. Listen, these fellas buy. It started off with the little fella. It started with the JP. With these false narratives, with these.
But who's making them JPs, Leslie?
Huh?
Anybody can just go. I can just go to my MP and say, Mr. Miller, I want to be a JP because I need to make a couple of dollars. Things a little slow because he ain't signing off on no paper. So a couple of people come to me and I say, I need you to stamp this passport.
I saw a lady in the papers this morning say she's trying to get citizenship. Her name is Marie Joycelyn Raming. That happens to be Leslie's mother.
What?
Yeah.
She stole somebody's name?
Marie Joycelyn Raming. Basically from through the same street, Taylor Street.
She didn't do a deed poll, Leslie.
She didn't. I didn't
Did
know
you find out
that she did.
Because what I've been noticing as well a lot is there have been a lot of deed polls for these persons to change their last names and their names. So they've been adopting. They've been adopting Bahamian last names.
I think this is something we've got to discuss moving forward because I think these people are robbing and raping Bahamian identities and legacies and families, because you cannot just go and decide you're going to go and say, that one, that's the name I'm taking. No, these are
my birthright. You take
these
it
are
from me.
people's birthright, their legacies, their family.
You have no right to do that.
People who have been in it for decades. These names and these families have existed, and we sit back and allow them to do it. Why is it that you want to change your name?
A couple of them named Pinling.
Why you want to change your Pinling and Davis?
I told you the guy was bold enough.
Listen,
I said, Chief, what's your name? Pinling. I said, I'll strike the You name Pinling, man. Look at you. And they serious.
Leslie, but he has legal documents that say that, right?
Listen,
so who signed off on that?
A whole family of Chinese named Davis. You don't get it?
One of his brothers.
A whole family of Chinese. Last name is Davis.
Yeah, you figured it.
Now that's again.
We got Prime Minister named Davis. I named Davis.
They named Davis. Chinese. Wing Ling Davis. You know, listen to me.
You got to stop, man.
Listen to me.
Very serious. Very serious, man.
I mean, and we're laughing, right? Because it's the saying goes, laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah.
Because this is a serious matter. This is vexing to Bahamians, but we need our government, Leslie. We need people advocating. We need people serious from the top down.
I met some fellas from Turks Island
enough
last night. Why people campaigning. And the fellas say, boy, Portcake said, I know you was down here a couple of months back. I say, yeah. So you realize that we went to Britain to get our independence. And we walk out. Because you know what they told them? Everyone who is in Turks and Caicos must be a Turks and Cajun. And it's 32,000 Asian and 18,000 Turks.
Whoa.
So the fellas say I can get my independence. They give it to you? What y'all gonna do? Say, Miller, we don't know what to do. Say, but y'all next. Said it to me last night. All of us, the whole team. Say, we next. I say, glad I can be around in 2 years. Because I can kill somebody.
Leslie, but your grandchildren and your children are going to be around.
Yeah.
So this is the legacy. Now, I know you've always been a fighter. So I know you ain't going out.
No.
You ain't going out soft. You're going out fighting. So we have to continue to advocate.
Any more citizenship. Give them Bahamian status. Status.
Permanent residency, things you could revoke.
Why do we have to give citizenship? What law says we have to give citizenship?
There needs to be a moratorium.
Which law?
Absolutely, because even in the United States, you've got to go through the various steps. You got to get your residency, your green card. That has to go and be revisited and revised. And then, because you ain't just get a citizenship.
It is wrong.
Speaking of you all,
and I think it's outrageous for any political party, PLP or FNM, to be given a citizenship for votes. I will never, ever agree with that in 1,000 years.
Yep, absolutely.
Never.
Well, Leslie, here's something that knocked on your back door really recently that you were quite troubled by, and so many of us were troubled by, but this has been all too frequent, with 4 industrial accidents this year, and hopefully we have no more. You remember those shockingly gruesome incidents. Leslie, again, one just out your back door.
I just went there on Sunday, take some flowers.
Well, Labour officials are trying to get to the bottom of what seems to be an unprecedented amount of industrial accidents these past few months, including just this month, I understand. Daniel Dean has the story, and then we come back and talk about it.
Industrial accidents are raising serious concerns tonight after 4 men were injured on job sites so far this year, 2 of those incidents proving fatal. The most recent case unfolded Wednesday on Fire Trail Road, where a 34-year-old man was trapped under a crane at a construction site. Emergency crews were called to the scene and worked to extricate the man before rushing him to hospital. Officials say he remains in critical condition. The incident marks the 4th industrial accident recorded this year. 2 earlier cases resulted in deaths, while another worker continues to recover from his injuries. Labour Minister Pia Glover-Roll says the frequency of these incidents is a growing concern for her ministry.
Occupational safety and health is a major concern for the Department of Labour. We have inspectors that go on job sites. We have actually, through the OAS, gotten drone technology to learn how we can assist in remote locations and over our work sites. So very concerned. We know that a lot of training and retraining has to happen.
The minister, however, emphasized that even when the department conducts inspections and safety protocols are in place, accidents can still occur.
An accident is that. It's an accident, something that was not expected, but of course tragically happened.
Nevertheless, in light of the uptick, she says the Department of Labour will be stepping up inspections, particularly at active construction sites, to ensure proper safety measures are being followed.
Where there is not happening, there are fines that are in place.
Wednesday's incident prompted the immediate closure of the Fire Trail Road worksite as investigators work to determine the cause. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, you all, first of all, it's good to hear that. It's necessary, it's needed. Pia Glover-Roll was there speaking of how they're going to go to construction sites now and begin, I guess, having greater oversight. But Bahamians for too long, Leslie and Gabrielle, have wanted to take shortcuts. And I'm not trying to be insensitive of what we've seen played out since last month and this month. I wouldn't dare do that. But I hope a part of this crackdown is also an attempt to have all of us not be so careless and taking shortcuts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I want to use this opportunity to send condolences to the family and just to remind everyone in those industries to use the precautions, use the harnesses, use all your safety equipment, whether it's the hard hats, the steel toe boots, use everything that you can to protect yourself, to be able to go home at the end of the day to your family and your loved ones. I know sometimes it's like, okay, I've been doing this so long, I could just go in and get this done. But these measures are there to save you, protect you in your life, so you could go home at the end of the day to your family. So I just want to take that time to remind all of our hard-working persons in the industrious industry, protect yourself, protect your family and your loved ones.
You know, God knows the last month has been very difficult for all of us. I had 2 friends who got killed in an accident. It was unnecessary. I was to the house on Saturday. Madam, I left the flowers on the car opposite you. I could try to hail you tonight. But it's unfortunate, and you got to be careful, But just like you said, these fellas been doing this for so long, and nothing has happened. And then it happens. And think about your loved ones, man. You know, think about them losing a father, losing a brother, losing a friend, losing a husband. It's devastating and it affects the families for the rest of their lives. So please, I hope God be with us and we be more cautious in the work that we do, that other people are depending on us to be safe, to enable them to be safe. So I trust and I give my sympathies to everybody.
And get yourself some insurance, people. Get some insurance.
Them damn insurance company don't pay.
I thank you both very much. Leslie Miller, Gabrielle McKenzie, Ineas, thank you very, very much. Don't go anywhere because when we come back, your favorite priest, Father Bradley Miller, is here to talk about, you guessed it, sweethearting. We're back right after this.
The Fox Foundation proudly presents the keynote speaker for the 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, this March 19th at 7 p.m. at the beautiful Baha Mar Resort. Get ready to be inspired by Randy Zuckerberg, tech innovator and the creator of Facebook Live. She revolutionized real-time digital engagement, empowering individuals and brands to broadcast instantly to global audiences. And now she brings that innovation and insight to the Fox Foundation's 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, March 19th at 7 p.m. at the Baha Mar Resort. Under this year's theme, Give to Gain, join us for a night designed to inspire growth, spark opportunity, and strengthen the future of women in business.
Okay, guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This $150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2-ball. 10. Give me another 2-ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. There's 10K. Name these games after me. Fruit Dragon.
Fruit Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Brunson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here. Is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D, all backed up by The Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, $30. VIP, $75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. We're going to now get into some topics that's been trending really for the last week. In fact, since this study was done and came out by the University of the Bahamas, any number of voices, any number of pastors even, have spoken out about sweethearting. Some figure, why was the study done? What was the reason for doing it? Particularly when it's sort of, everybody agrees, past time, a part of the fabric of what Bahamian society is. Others are saying, listen, and while it may be the topic at hand, topical and trending, and people having any number of opinions on it, we must all understand, though, that it is something, an act and a behavior that really tears at the very foundation of what the family is, of what the society is. And of course, that is the nuclear family when you bring in a third partner to that marriage relationship. And so this evening, as we are in the Lenten season, we are going to look at that University of the Bahamas study once again. Joining me is the outspoken priest, Father Bradley Miller. Of course, you all love to hear his points of view on any number of issues, topical issues, religious issues. And so we're going to begin right there this evening, though, on that study and its findings, and also to look at the root problems and issues that sort of just spin off from it. And so good evening to you, Father Miller. It's good to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. What a wonderful time to be back with you again.
Father Miller.
Thank you so much for your invitation.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much, because I know you've been a little quiet. You've been a little quiet, so it's good to have you here and speaking on something that is everybody's talking about, has the people's attention, and also that we must know still is not something to be proud of, huh?
No, it's nothing that we should be proud of.
Father
and
Miller,
I'm disturbed by that.
You are disturbed by the study.
Very much, very much.
Let's start here. When the study came out and it went viral, as you saw, everybody in every quarter was talking about it and still are talking about it. What was your response? What was sort of your cautioning to your congregation?
Well, first of all, Shanique, let me tell you, I was not surprised by the survey, because what has happened in our country, and I want to keep it just in the Bahamas, what has been happening in our country, that kind of lifestyle has been the accepted norm. It has been the accepted norm where it has become, we have become numb to it.
Yes.
Even churches have become numb to it. Even people have become numb to it. Even parents have become numb to it when their children do it. We have become numb to it. And that kind of thing, that sweethearting thing, that has never been a part of God's design. The problem is, it's in our society, we have decided, because, you know, and I have a problem when people say, well, you know, Father, it's happening, nothing you can do with it. I say, no, we must speak out against it. It is wrong. It has never been a part of God's design. It has never been a part of God's plan.
Let's talk about how sweethearting, because it's nothing new. We all know that. This ain't, for those who acted surprised, come on now. Because this has been around perhaps since before independence in this Bahamas. We're just focused in on us.
Yes, I just want to focus on the Bahamas.
Exactly. What is it, how destructive over the years, over the decades, has sweethearting been and become to the fabric of our lives here in the Bahamas?
It is very destructive. Shanique, what it does, it destroys marriage and family life. Because somebody, whether it's a male or a female, somebody decide that they want to go contrary to the marriage vow. And going contrary to the marriage vow, what happens now, you invite, and I want to use a passage of scripture from one of Paul's letters to Corinthians. Paul talks about, you know, when you decide that you're going to leave your marriage home and go to somebody else, you know what St. Paul says? You might, when you finish with that woman, you must well take, or that man, you must well take that man or woman back to your house, because now your spirit has already been entwined with that person.
So they don't understand it's a spiritual transfer of energies and everything else.
Exactly. It's a spiritual transfer. So when you leave that man or when you leave that woman and you go back to your spouse, You have now taken a spirit back to your home.
And God knows what else.
And God knows what else. Unfortunately, I hope it's not some venereal disease. But the reality is, I believe what we need to do in our country, we need to stop tolerating slackness. This is slackness
But how do you
at the
say
highest
that?
order. So
Father.
here's my point. Then let's get back to building marriage and family life.
To make it attractive and appealing. Because I want to say to you, Father, because even in the church, Father, I know you know this. Even in the church, the very man with the collar on, the very man on the pulpit preaching every Sunday, sometimes is guilty of this.
That is true.
So I want to ask you, how do you say we need to stop the slackness? We need to get back to the basics of valuing family, valuing marriage. When if you are somebody who has sort of made it, ain't got something on the side, you really are seen as nothing in this society.
Well, we have to go back from the beginning. Let's go back to the creation story. From the beginning of the creation story, when we read the creation story, God created the man, and then before, a lot of people say he created woman, but no, after the man there was animals. And God created animals, and then God says, this animal is not suitable for the man. So that tells us right there, and I need to put the plug in, that human beings should not be going with animals. That's bestiality. God saw that man should not be going with animals. God said, look, I need to make this man a partner, help me. And God in his wisdom created, the creation story tells us that he put the man to sleep, take a rib out, etc., etc., and then woman came along, and the man says, whoa, born of my own bone, flesh of my own flesh, she should be called woman. And that creation story tells us, and they became his wife, and Adam knew his wife. And of course, that means they had sexual intercourse, and they move on to build a family. That was God's plan from the beginning. God's plan has not changed. God's plan is always that a man and a woman should come together in marriage and be faithful to each other.
Yes. So you mean God's plan is not outdated in 2026?
God's plan is not
outdated.
outdated.
In 2026, he's in understanding that, listen, this is a different day and age, and I'm going to need my little extra something on the side.
No, you don't need the extra something. What you need is to be faithful to the marriage vow that you have committed. When I consult people, Shanique, and I do not marry people unless I take them through, well, we are mandated in my church to do the 12 weeks of marriage control, 3 months. When I consult people, one of the things I say to them, listen, Shanique, you could find any man out there. You're a beautiful lady, you could find any man out there. But this is the one you say you want. I say to the man, you can find any woman out there. This is the woman you say you want. I said, remember, the man or woman you find ain't the sweetest and ain't the richest. But this is the one you say you want. I said, stick to your vows. I said, because if you're not serious about going down this thing, you should not get into it. And that's why we are mandated to make sure, that's why premarital counseling is very important in order to keep this marriage and family together, because we have to realize, and I say to people, look, marriage is not a bed of roses. You will have your challenges.
It's a daily effort, huh?
It's a daily effort. You have to put into it. You have to live that vow. Listen, the only reason why I'm still married to my wife today, and the only reason why me and my wife still together today, is because I decided and we decided we're not going to go against each other. We're going to be faithful to this vow that we have made. And I live by that. That I'm going to be faithful to the vows that I've made, to the woman I took down at the altar. I got to find 100 or million women out there. Some more pretty than my wife. Some more richer than my wife. Somebody will say some more sweet than my wife, but I don't know that. But I decide that this is the one I want.
Well, let's just talk about that. Let's talk about what the church is doing. See, because the church has a role in this. The church, you all could preach about everything but marriage and the family. You could preach about the fact that your offerings need to be bigger, your I don't know, you need to be here every Sunday, you need to be a part of this ministry, that, but you do not focus on marriage and how to love one another, respect one another, even be intimate with one another. Has the Bahamian church fallen down over the years in pushing marriage and family to the forefront?
I would not say that. I would not say that. And I can only speak for the diocese of what I'm a part of and the church that I pastor, which is All Saints. I preach that every Sunday. I preach marriage and a family life. As a matter of fact, last year our diocese still have this theme called Family Matters, and we took it over again into this year because we recognize that we need to build strong families in our country. If we're going to save our country, the only way we can build strong families is through marriage and family life. And we have to teach people that we have to teach people the importance of marriage and family life. Because remember, you grow up in a stable home, so you might not be vulnerable to some of these other things. But there are other people out there who were vulnerable to certain things that they see, and they think that is the norm because that's the environment they was raised in. So we have to teach people that, listen, God's standard, God's provision is always this, that a man and woman come together in a relationship and then they bear children. Mm-hmm. You know, one of the in our Book of Common Prayer, one of the charge that we give to persons when we about to perform the wedding ceremony is that, and we laid out, it's a beautiful, I guess I could remember everything offhand, but one of the things that we say is that marriage is a part of God's plan. And it is when it is appropriate for the procreation of children. Children is an extension in marriage. You know. When you marry that fella, Shanique, when you say I do, that's a family. The children is an extension of the family.
So
the minute you say I do,
that's a family.
That's a family.
And that unit should not be broken.
And that
should
unit
be
should
very
not
sacredly.
be broken. And that's a sacred trust. Mm-hmm. That's a sacred trust that you have between you and your spouse. And we are all called, yes, there are temptation out there, because I'm a priest and I can tell you there's temptation. I'm not exempted from temptation, and that's what I told my people on Sunday.
And so people should know that, that you're not necessarily going to be exempted from temptation, but it's giving into that temptation.
It's giving into that temptation. But the thing about it is that you have to realize that what I always say to myself, I made a vow, and I want to be faithful to these vows that I've made. Because the vows that I've made, or everybody who married made, for better, for worse. So that means when things ain't going good, you still stick in it. For rich or poor, so that means when things, the fella may not think that tight money.
I'll tell you this, see, and I don't want to, I want to respect the good pastor here, the good priest, and the priest is my family as well, so, you know, I don't want to get out of hand. But, you know, I think what's missing from church and church teachings and the pulpit is teaching a man in particular how to please his wife. Because that study also said women now are being wives are now being satisfied. They like who knew, first of all, that so many wives were sweethearting, right?
Yes.
I think my thing is, I think they're pushed to do that after the men have been so busy out there. So the women say, man, shoots, why? I'm not going to divorce you, so why don't I also get satisfied? But women are out there being satisfied because they're not being satisfied in the home. How do you address that?
But I don't buy that, Shanique. And let me tell you why I don't buy that. One of the things I discover in marriage and the Bahamian society is a lack of communication. Mm-hmm. Shanique, if you and I are husband and wife, and I'm not, as you say, performing as I should, you should be able to have a conversation with me. Say, listen, husband, you know, this is what I prefer, this is what I like, and you help me along that journey. We in this together.
Because after all, and I was whispering to you and mouthing off the camera to say, listen, men don't like that because they're insulted, but men will take that from their sweethearts. They want the sweetheart to tell them what to do and what they want, don't they?
So then you need to
So then the wife, that's what I'm saying. The wife now to step up and say...
Yes, you need to say, listen, honey, this is the case, or this ain't the case. It's a matter of communication. You know, in the scripture talk when the marriage bed is undefiled. Now, I don't know what that means, and I'm a priest. I don't know what that means. But I would assume that means that whatever you all want to do or whatever you all come to conclusion with is fine. So we should be able to have a conversation. The problem with many marriages, because I discover that many people in marriage do not communicate effectively.
No, you're right.
If I'm not pleased, Shanique, and I'm just using you as an example, if I'm not pleased with you, shouldn't I come and say, honey, let's have a conversation?
You should.
Let's have a conversation.
And I should be, the wife,
and vice versa.
As well as the husband,
right.
be open to it.
Right, you have to be open. You don't have to go out there, because, you know, I love my wife. Oh, Lord, my wife sometimes is really, my wife sometimes is really inspire me. You know, I remember my wife was saying something one time. We was having a conversation with somebody, and she would say, this person said, you know, why you have to go there to look for something, right? The same thing you're looking for is right in the home.
Right in your house.
Okay, let me put that kind of simple. If I come home and maybe you didn't cook the rice properly, or maybe you can't cook. So shouldn't I be able to say, well, you know, Shanique, maybe you're putting too much water in your rice. Maybe you're not long, or maybe you have the fire up too high. And so we have to work together so that at the end of the day, the marriage is built on communication, where if I'm not satisfied with something, I should be able to tell my wife. If she's not satisfied with something, she should be able to tell me. That's where communication comes in.
And that's across the board.
Yes, across the board. But it should not, remember, it should always be, first and foremost, you must be faithful to the marriage vow. Now, in that marriage vow, being faithful,
yes,
you should have that integrity to be faithful. You should have that integrity. Now, of course, if there's something down the road ain't working out, but let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I want to say before, geez, Justin, we were just getting into this. How could you wrap this up already? You said in order to try and correct this decades-old sort of standard in the Bahamas, meaning sweethearting, that family life should begin from the primary school level.
Marriage and family life have to be taught from primary level. We have to teach people that God's design is man and woman come together, and then children as a part of the family. Because we believe that we've gone totally astray.
To the point that many people don't want to be married. I mean, how do you even address that? They speaking of sweethearting. I guess the single set sweethearting the married man or woman because they.
But if you don't want to get married, then you need to stay celibate. Stay celibate. That's a choice. That the Bible speaks about. That's a choice. You don't want to get married, then stay celibate. But St. Paul said, if you can't, how St. Paul describe it? If you're burning, then you need to find a man or a woman.
Find a mate.
And then when you find that one, you stay with that one.
Yes. I have to have you back because, of course, you know, this is Lent. I want you to talk about in the Bahamas where we need to be focused on, because I think all this study came in so timely because it leads us back to God.
Yeah.
It's necessary. I know that you support that message for sure. And then I want to ask you more about marriage. You know what I mean? Let's just get happy marriages here, because if you ain't happy, you can always slip and slide.
Well, I will tell you this, Shanique. That's what we need to start promoting. We need to start promoting it in marriage and family life. If we're not promoting it, then people will think that ain't nothing to marriage.
Absolutely.
But once we start promoting it, people will recognize, hey, this is a good life that I want to be a part of. I've been married going on 30 years now.
30 years?
Yes, 30 years now. And I can tell you, if I did it all over again, I'll marry that same woman.
Same woman.
Same woman.
Excellent. Congratulations on 30 years, by the way.
Thank you.
Listen, Father, we will have you back because, of course, we want to talk about some stuff in terms of a nation seeking God, especially in this season, in this season here. And so we certainly, of course, look forward to that. Father Bradley Miller, the rector of All Saints there in the South Beach area, All Saints Anglican Church. Thank you very much for being here. People love your perspectives and everything. They've been asking for you and when are you going to come back. And so there he is this evening. We're going to have him back again very soon, especially to talk about this whole season that we're in. Beyond the Headlines, of course, enjoys bringing you these discussions to cause you think more, to cause you to kind of just focus on what's important, and we will continue to do that even in this election season. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Everybody have a wonderful evening. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening.